Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Y'all, it is Monday. It is time for Monday Motivation. And for those of you that don't know who I am Deborah Franklin. I am an author, speaker, a coach, but most of all, I am the founder and CEO of Church Girl CEO, where we work with women who are leaders in ministry and in business. And we help them to tell their story, to develop them into multiple streams of income. Yes, that is what we do. But today, we are here to talk about abundance. What is abundance? What does abundance mean? What does abundance really mean? It means that we are living with a changed mindset. And one thing that I wanted you guys to know is that it is time for us to change our mind. That is what we're talking about tonight, is like changing our mind, changing how we think, changing how we look at things, changing how we approach a situation. Because when we change our minds, then uh we are able to receive more than what we set out to do, because we don't go into it thinking the negative. We don't go into it thinking, what can I get wrong? How am I going to get this wrong? Uh how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And the Bible clearly tells us in Romans 12 and 2, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing perfect will. So that tells us up front that we should know what God is telling that. But when we change our minds, God is going to give us what I like to say, God is going to give us clarity. God is going to show us what we need. God is going to show up just when we need him most, and we're going to be able to catch it right when he tells us. We are not going to have to guess about it. We're not going to have to wonder about it. We are going to know, because God is going to give us just what we need and when we need it. And again, Romans 12 and 2 is it just tells us so much about that. And I'm going to put this up just for those that may be late and you might be getting it later. Is that we have got to remember that we cannot conform to what everything is going on around us. We have got to show we can't be like everybody else. I remember saying, man, they always get, why I always get in trouble? Why I always get caught? Why can't I do like everybody else? That's because I was made different. That's why I was created different. And you've been wondering the same thing. This is why you were created different. This is why you have been chosen to do what you have been chosen to do, because God has something special for you. You cannot show up like everybody else. You can't be like everybody else. You have got to show up as your authentic self. And then once you show up and you receive what God has given you, you have got to change your mind. When we start to change our mind, we look at the world different. We look at our situation different. We look at ourselves different. Have you ever looked at yourself and you've been down and out and you talk negative to yourself? Child, stop that. Today is the day that you stop talking negative to yourself. When you feeling down, you like, Lord, I feel up. You prophesy to yourself. Lord, today, look, you going to be happy. You going to live righteous. You are going to walk the way God has told you to walk. You are going to be able to show up like you know that you can. You have got to speak positive into your life. You have got to speak in a way that you believe it yourself. And guess what? When you believe it, others are going to believe it. When you believe it, others are going to believe it. Because when you show up in your authentic self, you will start to realize people are going to treat you different. They're going to talk to you different. They're going to be like, it's something new about you. It's something different about you. That's because you have showed up with a renewed mind. A renewed mind. And so some of us also too get caught up in, we need to change our mind at the way we look at money, the way we look at endurance. And the way that we look at poverty, because some of us have not manifested wealth because we're still living in a poverty mentality. We are still living in a poverty mindset. And y'all, poverty, and I'm not talking about poverty as in money. I'm talking about poverty in the way that you think, poverty in the way you approach things, poverty in the way that you speak, the way that you talk. And I said this earlier in the interview. You can have all the money in the world. You could have millions of dollars in the bank. You could be dressed in the nines, but you still can show up looking. But if you show up looking busted and disgusted, people are still going to think you have a poverty mentality just because you got the look on the outside. But if you don't have that feeling or that thought process on the inside, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to still be stuck where? In that poverty mentality, in that poverty state. This is why you have got to renew your mind. You have got to start seeing yourself happy. You have to start seeing yourself walking in abundance. You have to start seeing yourself doing the things that you know that you have been called to do. This is why I am inviting you, y'all, tonight. I am inviting you to join us for our abundance workshop. Y'all, this workshop is going to be like nothing other. You are for 4 power-packed days. We're going to be talking about how God is going to help manifest the abundance in your life that you so desire. We are kicking our negative beliefs on money. We are not thinking anymore that when I get, because oh my God, I did have somebody to inbox me and said the reason why they are afraid of living in wealth because they feel like they may get out of they may change who they are. Guess what? Money only intensifies who you are. If you are a giver, if you are a sower, you are nice, the money is not going to do anything but intensify that. Now, are you going to have to develop the way you can't give to everybody and everything? Absolutely. That's called boundaries. But when you are able to manifest the wealth that you know that God has called you to have, that is what you're going to do. We are going to be talking for 4 power-packed days, y'all. And if you register, and I know some people say, well, Deborah, I can't make it all 4 days. I know I need to change my mindset in the way I look at myself, the way I look at what's going on around me, but I might not be able to make it all 4 days. Guess what? That's fine too, because if you are registered, you will get all of the work replays and the workbook that is going along with it. Yes, I did say workbook because we are going to work this thing out. And I am speaking from experience. Y'all, I used to be the type that said, it don't take all that. Let me just do my little job, show up, do what I gotta do. I can drive what I want. I ain't got to have all that. I can, long as I'm doing good. But then God said, how can you sow into the kingdom the way I'm telling you to if you're not living in an abundance lifestyle? Not flashy, living in abundance, not dripped in name brands, but living in abundance lifestyle. And and this has really been in my spirit. How would you feel to be able to give when somebody said give? And I know you're tired of when they call to give, you like, ugh. And you're wondering, why can't I show up like that? They say church need a new roof. Wouldn't you be like to be in a position to say, hey, I got it. We need to send 5,000 meals to the different country. Oh, I can do at least 1,000 of them. You see what I'm saying? Because even when we start to think about Lydia and her ministry, remember, Lydia was the number 1 giver to Jesus's ministry from selling purple. So when are you going to start to think like that? When are you going to do that? And if you're having some other mindset issues and you're trying to, and you know that you need affirming, y'all, we did workshop Wednesday last week, and we talked about affirmations. So if you missed workshop Wednesday, you definitely need to go back into the group and catch the replay. And I actually put the workbook in there. That's going to be the only time that's going to be there. That's the only workshop Wednesday that we're probably going to do live in the group, because I want you in the place. Because when we do our workshops, when we show up for each other and we're able to support each other, we work together, y'all. We work in our workshops. Yeah. It's not a workshop where I'm just going to come on and talk to you. Nope. You're going to come on and you're going to do the work. And sometimes that work is hard. Sometimes you got to work through the tears. Sometimes you got to work through the fear. Sometimes you got to trust the person that's right there with you. And this is your first time meeting them. But I'm going to tell you, it's well worth it. If you join us for this 4 days, a power packed workshop of manifesting abundance, you will not be disappointed. So that go to that bit.ly, use that link, Manifest Abundance CG CEO, and join us live for those 4 power pack days. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message. You can always find everything that I'm talking about on our website or in the group. Inbox me. But most of all, I want to see you in the place. And if you have some friends that you know that they need to change their mindset on how they see things. Somebody said to me, it's not that they don't own a good business, but they can't see that they need to change with the times. They can't see that their prices are still too low and they're living beneath of who God has called them to be, because they have not risen up to where God has called them to be. If that's you, I need you to make sure, or if that's your friend or your cousin, you know how we do. This Manifest Abundance workshop is open for everybody. And because we all have got to change our mindset, we have got to change our mindset so we can rise above poverty and be exactly who God has called us to be. We have to rise above so we'll be able to sow into the ministry the way that we are supposed to sow. We have got to rise up and change our minds about abundance, about wealth today. Because does it take all that? Yes. Is money the root of all evil? No. Does money grow on trees? Absolutely not. But we need to be in a position that we are able to do exactly what God has told us to do. Because I need you to think about the servant that had the talents. One didn't do it, one didn't multiply. And he was called wicked. Are you wicked or are you wise? Are you getting ready to multiply what God has given you because you figured out how to multiply? That's why you need to show up for this Manifest Abundance workshop. I want to see you there. Beat me there. Well, all right, guys. I love you to life. It ain't nothing you can do about it. But most of all, I want you to know that it is time to do what? Change your mind. Join us for the Manifest Abundance workshop, where we are going to be working towards that and doing what we have been called to do, because this is what God has chosen us to be, the part of this chosen generation, that remnant that's going to be able to rise above and do what he has called us to do. Because guess what? This remnant is not afraid to walk out on the water like Peter did. We're not afraid to walk out and take the chance. We're not afraid to show up the way God has told us to show up. But we have to have an abundance mindset. We have to know that we are not just going after one soul. We're going after multiple souls. We're not going out to just minister to one. We're going to minister to thousands. We're going to minister to the multitudes. We are going to minister to the nations. I said it, the nations. Let that sink in for a minute. But all right, guys, I love you to life. It ain't nothing you can do about it. If you are catching the replay, make sure you're dropping it below. Make sure you shout out to your girl. Let me know that you did tune in. Well, all right, guys, have a great one. Peace.